All right, we're live in three, two, one. Yo, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Create You podcast. It has been a very good while, actually, since I've done one of these on my own. I did try to record one when I was in New Jersey, and I think my SD card, I think something happened. I forgot what happened to it, but it got full. It was very weird because I deleted everything from the camera, but it still got full. And I learned you had to format your your SD card. That's That's so annoying, but whatever. Uh, the storage that I have on this card actually has a lot of memory. So I was kind of surprised when I ran out, but I didn't know you had to format it once you delete stuff because it still keeps it on the card. Which, yeah, whatever. That was something I had to learn, and I was pretty annoyed because I was like 30 minutes into it. It was pretty good, but whatever. You live and you learn. It was a lesson, and I could have probably kept doing it and released it, but I wanted to have the video form, and it just didn't feel right having it without it. Anyways. You may notice that my voice sounds a bit raspy. I have been sick for the past, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days now. Um, which is actually kind of like the whole topic of this podcast. Um, quickly, I do want to say that I do appreciate you guys tuning in for these, especially the ones that are on my own, because it is just me. I do enjoy these, so I hope that you guys enjoy them as well. Um, Also, I want to mention again to start off that the podcast is available on audio platforms such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, or just a few to name. I think it's on Amazon, like whatever their platform is. But there's countless other audio platforms if you listen to them anywhere else. So if you don't want to watch the video form or you don't want to like have to keep your phone on YouTube, if you don't have like their premium, then you can listen to them on these other ones, and they do support me. So I do would I would appreciate it if you guys also check those out as well. That's pretty cool. Worked kind of a lot to put them on. They're not like crazy, but like it is something that I had to learn. So really cool. Anyways, also I do have a main channel. It's just Create Germ. So if you want to check out more of my videos and get to know me a little bit more outside of these podcasts in terms of, I guess, more of like a creative side of me, more creative videos are on my main channel, such as right now I'm doing vlogs, but I do have some gaming videos. I do plan to expand uh, eventually, but right now I'm just doing vlogs. I really do enjoy doing those, so that's really cool. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the topic, I guess, because I think it'll kind of explain a lot of where I've been. So, a lot of my goals this year recently have just been trying to take care of myself more. I have a lot of stuff like on my walls here in my studio and as well as upstairs, um, like things that I can do to take care of myself. Let me read off this list here. So, if you were just like walk Lola, um, there's one that's like workout and stretch. Also, just creating in general. I like to create a lot of different things. There's so many ideas that I have, which is also kind of like a curse in some sense because I just always jump from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, and I can never stick to just one. It'd probably help if I had like a team, but I'm not there at that point in my life right now, and I'm just doing what I can, and I may be making mistakes. I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it's not a good idea for me to be doing podcasts as well as like a whole main channel, like all on my own, because it might lead to burnout, which again is another topic of this entire video. But I guess, like I said, we'll kind of figure that out along the way together, and I'm excited for the journey regardless. But another few things that I wrote down on how to take care of myself was to meditate, also to journal, looking in the direction of the sun, so getting sunlight into my eyes, and getting some sleep and rest, which is actually a new one. Um, and then also like a few other ones that I have is to like kind of work on my emotions and understanding them, being able to embrace them, control them, to feel them, whatever it is. Um, that's another goal of mine for this year. Another one is also cold showers. That's been really cool. I've been doing that a lot. Um, and then also trying to release a video once a week, which has been very, very difficult for me because like editing is not something I'm very, very great at. I've gotten a lot better at it, and I've learned new ways in which I can um, like be more efficient at it. And so I kind of created like a or I watch videos really. I didn't create this myself, but I figured out ways of which to edit. I would just edit my video and I would try to do the story, the music, if I added memes or like subtitles, cool edits, like whether I'm adding text on the screen or like making transitions. I try to do all that at once. And so like I would be working for like fucking hours, excuse me, and I would only get like a minute or two in. I'm like, yeah, I just feel like I wasted my time. And so what I decided that I would start doing based on like what I was seeing in videos from other editors is that they go through and they do the entire storyline. So then you have the entire story is done essentially. And then you go back in and then you add your memes or transitions or your audio. You mess with the audio, make sure it sounds all good. Um, or like anything like that. But instead just doing it one by one instead of just trying to do all of it at once, which God, it took so long. And then I hated editing because of that. Now it's like I don't mind editing as much as I do. There's parts of it that I like, there's parts of it I don't like, and I think that's just normal. That's just like that's just life. Like I'm not gonna love everything that I'm doing, but ultimately I like what I'm doing, if that makes any sense. Also excuse me if I do cough a bit. Like I said, I have been sick, so I have a little bit of a cough, so sometimes my voice will get a little bit itchy, or my throat will, and I guess talking is kind of uh, aiding in that, me coughing more. So yeah. Anyways, like I've been doing that with my editing, and so like trying to record a podcast. Well, I think I've been trying to push myself even more to release 2 videos a week. So I would do the podcast and then the vlog. The vlogs usually take about a week to edit, give or take, and then the podcast realistically should only take like a handful of hours, if anything, like at max like a day. Because I just go in and just make sure the audio is good, and then like cut any bits out or whatever, and then just put it out. Along with also the production side of it, which creating a thumbnail or the title, etc. Like it takes a little bit of time as well, and I like to do the best that I can with my work. So like, sometimes it might take longer than the expected amount of time. So, anyways, yeah. So like I've been trying to do all these different things, and I think the past week and a half has been very good, but also very difficult. Um, I was doing really well. Like I would usually like my work and life balance has been very good. Although I still hate working at Amazon. I only work like 3 days out of the week, and then 4 of those days I get to be off. So on the days that I'm off, I guess I could start with when I'm working. So usually I just go to work, and I make sure that I stretch in the evening and then also in the morning, and then I try to take her out, Lola, for her walk. Yeah, be careful saying that word around her because she'll start freaking out. She's luckily asleep, so she didn't hear me. But I try to do that for her, and then if I have any extra time, um, like usually I'm working at Amazon for delivering for 10 to 12 hours, so it takes the majority of my day. And then when I get home, as you'd expect, I'm pretty exhausted, at least physically. And so I've gotten to the point where I can push past all that a little bit more than I have, which is why I can take her out and then do other things if I need to. But I tried to like also add in editing, and I don't know if it was a good idea or not, or just like maybe I was rushing it. I'm not really sure, but like I was doing that this week. I guess I should talk more specifically about this week, but generally this is how it kind of is. Uh, Either way, um, sort of. I think this is this week or the most recent week that I'm talking about. The past week and a half, almost 2 weeks, has been the way that I'm about to start explaining. And so like I did that for the first 3 days, and then on the third day when the next day I have off for the rest of the week, I then came home, did what I just kind of explained, tried to edit for a little bit, had some issues there with like transferring footage, etc. Just like minor inconveniences. So then I decided to like render the video, which takes about an hour depending on how long it is. Then went to go hang out with a friend. And the whole time I was like, before I even left there, I was like, dude, I'm kind of tired. Like I actually genuinely felt tired for like one of the first times ever. Like I felt tired like that before, but usually you can kind of push past it. But this time I kind of knew that I was tired, and I still went out and hung out with my friend. And I think I was there for like another hour and a half. So it was like pretty late when I got home. It was maybe around 12ish or something. it wasn't like too late, but usually I'm trying to go to bed around 10 or 11. That way that I can still get up early, considering that I do get up early for work. And I want to keep that kind of schedule throughout the rest of the week. Just that's very beneficial for me in helping my mental health as well as my physical and just keeping me aligned. And I think it's very important that you take care of that. And for reasons I'm about to explain, I didn't do that. I ended up hanging out with him, and I started to realize over those couple days that like I had this like brain fog. Like I feel like I couldn't recall anything. I didn't feel as bright or as creative. I felt like I was running low on energy, and every night after the third day of my work week, after the night that I just explained, or the night that I'm talking about, I noticed that that was more and more common as the days went on because I continuously kept pushing myself further and further. And on top of that, I'm still very proud of the work that I put in, and I'm glad that I still got up early each day, um, except for one of the work day or one of the later days in the week. I'm very proud of that, but I also realized like I should have been getting some sleep because like my body was telling me that I would go to sleep and then I'd wake up and I felt like I didn't even go to. I felt like I didn't even get any sleep. I literally felt like I was like I feel like I woke up. No, so I went to sleep and then I wake up and I feel like I was on the same thought that I was at the night prior, and my day just continued. Like I didn't even have any rest. Like that's how I was feeling. Like I just it was so bad, and I'm starting to realize that now that that was kind of an issue, and I think that was a lot of my mind and my body trying to tell me like, "Hey, bro, you might want to get some rest because this isn't healthy for you." But I decided that I would keep going. I would keep pushing myself on. So then, the days that I have off, usually the days are structured out where I wake up anywhere from 7 to about 8:30. So just somewhere in there, I try to be up by like literally like around 7:30. Like that's the most optimal time for me. If I go to bed around 10 or 11. But yeah, I woke up at 7:30 the next day. This is uh this is Wednesday, by the way. So usually I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Then Wednesday through Saturday I'm off. So Wednesday rolls around and I get up 7:30. I go for a run and then I come back home. Um, and then I try to meditate for like 15 minutes or so. Somewhere in there. It usually depends. That's a whole nother conversation. I feel like I haven't been doing well with that. But then I also try to stretch and work out. Well, it's not that I don't try. I try to, but this is usually how the work. This is how it usually plans out. Um, Sometimes I might not do something, but more often than not, I'm doing uh, what I'm talking about. And then after I work out, I usually try to take a cold shower. In all this, I also eat. Like one of the first things in the morning I do is eat, and then go outside and look at the sun. That's really cool. That's been so helpful. Like literally, that helps with your circadian rhythm. Helps with like your physical like mood and your mental mood. I guess you could say. And like since I started doing that, I'm actually like excited most days to get up and get out of bed because I don't know, I feel like recharged when I'm looking at like or in the direction of the sun, like getting sunlight into my eyes. Um, Really cool. Andrew Huberman, if you want to know more about this, I think he's a neuroscientist and he talks about all the benefits of doing this. So if you want, you can go watch his podcast. I think it's on YouTube and wherever else you can listen to podcasts. But really, really cool idea. I had no idea about it, but that's been very helpful. And so like once I do all that, then I usually try to take her out, Lola, for a WALK. I cannot say the word because she will start freaking out if she hears me. And yeah, so I do that, and then I need to take a drink of water because I'm getting cotton mouth so bad. I don't know why, but I think I might have mentioned this before, but when I do a podcast on my own, I get so cotton mouth, like my throat kind of gets tight. I don't know why that is. I don't know if I'm nervous or like I don't feel nervous, but I just get. I don't know why this is, but yeah, it's so interesting. Anyways, so then after that, depending on how I feel, like if I'm tired, I might take a break for 30 minutes to an hour, and then also try to edit. And with editing, I don't really set a time like limit on how much I want to edit. I just want to feel good with the work that I do. But I try to do more than at least 45 minutes to an hour at a time. And I find that I can do a lot of work in that time. Now, most times I spend more than like an hour and 30, maybe 2 hours editing, and I don't realize it because I'm just like rolling with it. And so then I try to go into what I was explaining, where I have like the different layers of which I edit in, and so like I do the story, and I go back in and whatever. So I do that, and then usually you usually I'll like spend the day after that just kind of relaxing, um, hanging out with friends or like playing games with my other friends or something like that. So, but this time I think I like went with my sister or something. Maybe it was the next day. Yeah, it was the next day that I did that. So that night, I think I ended up staying up a little bit later than I was supposed to, or yeah, I guess, or than I would have liked. It was kind of late, so it was like 12 or 1. And then I think because of the past few days before all that, um, I had realized like I woke up the next day and I was so tired, and I just stayed in bed for like a few hours, which I haven't done in a while. Like, so it was kind of cool, and it also makes sense. Like my body was like, "Hey, bro, yo, we need to get some rest," and like, so it was like much harder to get out of bed that day. Um, I stayed in bed for a while. I stayed in bed until about noon, but I woke up like at 9 because I went to bed late, and then went to my little sister's house. I went to go wash and stuff because I was supposed to do that the day prior. Yeah, yeah. Usually on Wednesdays I'll clean like the house. Every 2 weeks I'll clean the house, and like every week I'll wash my clothes on that day because that's just how I usually do it. But I didn't do that. I forgot. There might have been a reason why, but I didn't do that. So I was at her house for a while, actually, just cleaning my clothes, just because I had a few different loads of things I needed to wash. And and so then after that, it was kind of, I think it was a little bit later in the day. It might have been like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 maybe. And I came home, um, and the next day I needed to leave out of town, and I hadn't packed. The house was like, I think the house was a little bit dirty if I'm remembering correctly. And like I think there was just a whole lot of things that I needed to do, but I didn't do anything for like I just didn't do anything. I don't know why. Um and then I had packed up my clothes. I needed to do that quickly, and I think I was also trying to clean. I don't remember what I was doing, but I did something that took up a lot of my time. Maybe I just was like sitting around. Kind of hard to remember these days because they just like they flew by, but also they didn't. They were so dragged on, but um yeah, so I got packed up my clothes, and then I ended up playing games the rest of that night. And I tried to get off kind of early, but I ended up, it was like somewhat early. It was probably around 11 or 12. But I still needed to wake up early the next day because the drive from where I live to Dallas, Texas is about 4.5 hours, 5, depending on just like your speed and then whether you're going to Fort Worth or Dallas. I was going into Fort Worth, so it's about 4.5. Um, so I woke up the next day like at 6. Yeah, at 6 o'clock, and I had actually vlogged that day too. It was really cool. So I was doing that, and I was on the road, and I noticed like a couple hours, and I was like, dude, I'm getting tired already. Like, didn't get enough sleep. I haven't been getting sleep. I haven't been resting. I've been pushing myself in all these different areas, and like even in my day, I kind of talk about it. I just kind of glanced over it, but like when I'm working out and stuff, like I was pushing myself very, very far, and like I don't think I was really taking breaks. Like afterwards, I was still try to keep doing stuff, even though I did to some extent like have a lot of time in the rest of the day where I wasn't doing much. I would still like was still on those days prior. At least that's what I think. It kind of makes sense to me. Is like I just hadn't been getting enough rest, and so I just kept pushing myself. And I probably should have went to bed early on some of these days where I was just playing games, but I didn't. And so it just kept moving on and on and on and on to like the next day and the next day. And and then once I got to Dallas, Fort Worth, I was hanging out with my nana. We went to eat, and then we went to like go shopping, and then I drove like another hour and a half to go see another friend, and I was hanging out with him for like 2 3 hours, and we had worked out, and that was really good. It was really fucking hard. And then after that, I had drove another hour and a half back to the middle to like Central Fort Worth to go see Jordan Peterson. And it usually was like a 45-minute or like an hour drive, but it took so long because the traffic over there is horrendous, bro. It's so bad. It's so bad. And like I was actually kind of nervous driving along. I think maybe because I was also tired, but it's weird because I usually don't get nervous driving, but I was actually kind of scared because there was just cars everywhere and it was like packed and it was just so chaotic and like everybody's like bumper to bumper, and I was just like scared. But I luckily left with more than enough time, and I got there surprisingly, like almost pretty much right on time. The show started at 7:30, or the seminar started at 7:30, but they ended up kind of dragging it on to 8, I think, because they noticed that people were not there yet. So, um, anyways, during the show, um, I was a bit disappointed. Jordan Peterson was talking about where he's supposed to be. I guess he shouldn't. I shouldn't say he's supposed to be, but the tour is about his book, and so I was kind of expecting it to be about one of the rules. However, he has been doing this tour for like a year now, and so I'm sure he's probably burnt out on the rules. He's probably burnt out from all the traveling and all that, and he just has new ideas, and he just wants to talk about that. And he might have also been looking at the crowd, and he's a public speaker now, so he can that even before that he was like a professor, so he can kind of read the crowd. I think people were engaged enough to where they wanted to do this, and maybe or they wanted to hear this, but maybe like I just wasn't engaged enough because I was so tired. I even remember like almost falling asleep half the time because I just couldn't retain any of the information. Couldn't. But it could have also been I just wanted like to him to speak about the rules because that's kind of why I was there. But anyways, all of that. It was about so it started at 7:30. I think I got out around 10. Yeah, I think it was around 10. And then I drove about an hour, so like 50 minutes back to my friend's house. Initially I was gonna drive back home after this seminar. Thank God I didn't because I was so tired and I had been doing stuff all day and driving around and all this traffic. And so I ended up going back to his house and we stayed up kind of unexpectedly, but we were just playing games until like 1 a.m. I had to leave the next day, and I don't know what I'm doing, bro. I was also just being irresponsible on a lot of these days. Like, I just wasn't taking care of the things that needed to be taken care of. So we were playing games, and then the next day I woke up around 9 a.m. and I woke up like still tired, and I felt like I got sleep that day a little bit, but I still felt very tired. So we ended up just hanging out, and they cooked me breakfast, and also the night prior they made food for me to eat as well, which I'm very very grateful for. Those I really appreciated that those gestures because like I just didn't want to spend any more money than I had already spent. I feel like I kind of wasted my money because I wasn't even really able to retain any of the information in Jordan Peterson's seminar. Although I did learn some new things that I thought were really really cool. I ended up leaving the next day around 1, or that same day at 1, like around 1 p.m. And like I said, it's about well from where he lives, it was like a 5 hour drive, I believe, a little bit longer, and I kind of left later than expected. So on the drive back home, I still felt kind of tired. Um, yeah, I felt tired for like the first hour and a half, maybe two. And then after that, I felt okay, I guess, getting back home. And then once I got back home, my little sister was having a birthday party for her son, which is my nephew. And so I went to that, and I think it was around 6:30 we got there. And yeah, it took us a while to sit down. It might have been like 7:20ish when we actually sat down. And we waited till about 8:30 or almost 9 to eat our food. We had like a new waiter, and he just wasn't very very good at his job, which was fine. Like he said he was new. He only been there for 3 days. I don't know if he's a brand new waiter, like he's never done this before, or like he just went to this new place. He started working at this new restaurant. I don't know, but he was kind of poor in his service. Um, so it took a while to get everything out, and we had a bit of a party. Like we didn't have too many people, but we had like maybe like 15 or something. So yeah, we ate our food, whatever, and I started to notice like as the night went on, I started to feel like kind of weird. Like I think that like I don't know, I just didn't really feel hungry anymore. And then we went to go play games because it was like one of those like places where you can eat and like play games and stuff. So we went to go play games, just me, my mom, and my little brother. Everybody else kind of like scattered after that. Like they might have went to go play for a little bit, but they ended up leaving. And so we stayed, and then I think it was about 10 or 10:30 when I got back home. And I don't remember what I did after that. I don't remember if I came home and did something that night or what, but I just remember I started to feel kind of sick. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, I got home and I still needed to make so the next day actually I had to go to work. So I had to make like my protein shake for the next day. And I was like, man, I'm feeling kind of sick tonight. Like I feel like tomorrow is gonna be bad. Like it might be bad tomorrow. And woke up. Surprisingly, it wasn't that bad. I just took some medicine and I was like, whatever, like I'll just kind of deal with it. And also my first day back, whenever I do go to work, I'm usually out of town. So I'm delivering out of town. That's really easy. I could literally just drive the majority of the time. But I felt like just a little bit exhausted still. I feel like I went to bed that night again and woke up and like I didn't even get any sleep. I have also been waking up a bit throughout the night recently too. I don't know why that is. That happens. I think it's just probably because like my whole life is kind of chaotic sometimes, and I don't get to bed at the same time. So that might be it, or there might be other factors. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that day I was driving out of town and I felt so exhausted. I felt so exhausted driving. Felt so tired, like I was gonna fall asleep, and I had to try so many different things to keep myself awake. And this pretty much went on throughout the rest of the day. And I felt again like these weren't like bad days by any means, but I just felt that fog over like my mind, and that I couldn't just wasn't as creative or bright, and I couldn't recall anything. I couldn't remember certain things. Uh, so yeah, like whatever. That day went on, and then I got off of work kind of early, and then I got back home. I also took meds at the beginning of the day in the morning. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I think that might have helped me throughout the day. But then I realized like in the last couple hours of work, I started to feel kind of sick, and I was like, oh man, like I can't really miss any more work. I don't need to be missing work. I only work a handful of days, and so I need to make sure that I make the money that I need to, so I can take care of the bills. And yeah, that night I realized I was like, yeah, man, I'm feeling horrible. Like I'm not gonna be able to go to work tomorrow. Like I just felt really, really bad that night. And so I called or I texted like the manager and I asked like, what do I need to do to like let people know I'm not coming, or like what do I need to do? He just said play it by ear and then you can kind of let us know tomorrow. I was like, all right, that's fine. So in the morning I get up and I was a little bit late. I ended up leaving to work like 5 minutes later than I should have. And I realized like halfway on the drive there, I took the wrong shoes to work because I had woken up and kind of like just wasn't feeling it that much. Like I wasn't feeling really bad, but I just felt a little sick. And it really wasn't like much at all like that. I didn't really feel that bad, but I think a lot of why I didn't go to work today because I took the wrong shoes and like nah, I just was like nah. On top of that, and then wasn't like feeling the best. I was like nah, I'm gonna tell him like I'm not gonna come today. Like I'm not really feeling that well. I'll go get a doctor's note. I'll go get tested. Whatever I need to do. Like blah blah blah. So I go get tested for the flu and also for um COVID. Come back the next day. They're both negative. And that day I just took the day off to relax. And again, I started to feel sick towards the end of the day. I don't know why that is. I think maybe I'm just running out of energy, and then like I'm just feeling kind of weak, and then I don't know, just started feeling sick again. So that happened the next day as well. But um, like I also didn't go to work again. And then I started to realize like that day, I was like, I think I know why this is kind of happening. Like, I haven't really been taking care of myself, and I think all the things that I've been doing kind of led to where I'm at now. I feel like I had pushed my limits, like in all these different domains every single day, and I didn't get enough sleep. I wasn't listening to my body. Um, and so then I realized like this might be why I'm sick. Like there could be other factors. Like maybe when I was at the seminar, there's a lot of people there. I could have got sick from someone there. I know that my dad, he was at the birthday party. He was sick with COVID like a couple weeks prior, so it could have been that. Um, but what was like really weird is that I was just sick like literally like a month and a half ago, if even that. So like to be sick again within that kind of time frame, it doesn't seem like that's something that would happen considering that I'm young and I'm pretty healthy for the most part. Like I don't have any like real issues going on. So it's kind of weird that I got sick like that. I haven't got even sick before this most recent time. Like I'm still kind of sick now, but like before this, like I think I think I had I didn't even have COVID last time I was sick a month and a half ago. But before that, I had COVID, and that was like a year before that. But then even before that, I hadn't been sick. Like I hadn't been sick in a while. Like so, I don't really know. I don't know what happened. But my best guess, judging from like like the whole story that I'm telling, and like a lot of what my body was telling me, that's kind of what I feel like happened. Is that I was like I burnt out. I burnt myself out. I didn't get enough sleep. I didn't take care of myself, and because of that, I now kind of made myself sick. Like I didn't get any sleep, so like my immune system is probably getting weak. And like if you do that to yourself, like I don't know what I was expecting to happen. I just feel I didn't really feel like I was doing that to myself, but I guess looking back now, I know, and so now it made everything even worse. Like I was pushing myself so hard, and although like very grateful and proud of the work that I put in, I understand now like how important rest and sleep is because I didn't do that very often. And so I kind of paid the price for that and I got sick. And sick messed up work. I couldn't go to work. And it also messed up me like editing and working on my videos because I just haven't been feeling up to it. I haven't been working out. I missed a few days and I haven't taken care of like her or even the house. Um, So like it seems like all this is like a consequence of not taking care of myself. So now I just made everything worse and I put myself behind because I didn't want to give myself any rest, which I hope like I think that makes sense. Like I feel like I'm trying to like think about how I want to say this, but I don't know if it's like really getting through. But like I think a lot of times I felt like, oh, if I don't do this, if I don't do this, if I don't do this, then it's not gonna get done. It's not gonna get done. I can't push it back or whatever. Even though realistically I probably could have. Um, like I ended up paying that price later on down the line where now I haven't even like I didn't even start editing my fucking vlog. Like I did that today, but before then I hadn't done that. And so like it now that week, no vlog was out, no video was out, like and that was one of the goals. So like I kind of set myself back because I didn't take care of myself. So now it's making sense. Like I think I can understand that now. So like I said, I'm very proud that I pushed my limits. And it's also really good to know how far I can push myself then before I can like push myself to like what am I saying? I think it's good to know now how far I can push myself, but at the same time I need to listen to my body and my mind when it's telling me on the days like it was like hey bro, you might want to get some rest or hey, you might want to get to bed early tonight. Or, hey, just like relax, like it's okay. You can finish this tomorrow. Um because then it comes back, comes back later. So um yeah, it's been like a really like I don't know, like a long week and a half, but learned a lot. I learned a lot through that. And today and yesterday have been okay. Like it was still kind of a little sick yesterday, but I was kind of getting over everything. Today I feel a lot better. If anything, I just had maybe like a headache, but it's like not really even noticeable. But I took the day to clean. and make sure the house is good. So I kind of put myself ahead because usually I don't have Tuesdays off. So I cleaned, and so now today I got to just work on my stuff. And so that means that I have this day, the next day, the next day to do whatever else I want to do, edit or you know take care of other things, which I would usually only have 3 days of that, but now I have four. So taking the time to record this, so I think that's really cool because I haven't done one in a while. Like I said, I have been wanting to do one on my own. I was actually supposed to record a podcast with a friend today, but he's actually gonna come tomorrow for one, so that will be cool. His will be out after this one. Um, so looking forward to that. As well as like just finishing on my video for the week, and although it sucks that it's gonna be postponed a little bit and put out later than I'd want, I'm still grateful that it is gonna be put out. And um, yeah, I mean, like it is what it is, and I've learned what I learned, and I'm making sure that I'm taking my time. So, it's just one day at a time, and I'm making sure that I'm getting my rest and I'm doing what I can instead of just pushing myself and doing what I should. Because those are two different questions when you ask yourself, like, what should you do? Well, there's always so many things that you should do, but what can you do is a whole different question. And when I started asking myself that, not even just recently, but like as of the course of like this whole year, things have really changed for me. Like I figured out so many new things, and I feel like now I've been doing the things that I want to do, and I'm accomplishing the things that I've always said I wanted to do, and I'm like I have those visions and I'm fulfilling them now, and I feel so grateful that I'm in the position that I'm at, and I have the people around me that I do, and that I've been able to take care of myself and start the things that I've always wanted to start since a kid. So I read something the other day that I had posted back in like June or July of 2020 or 2021, one of those years. And it was saying something like, um, I want to create more. I want to like write books and music and uh, record podcasts and like also just like videos on my main channel. And it's been a long journey. And I think I actually started recording stuff like maybe like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, but nothing really stuck. I never like I would delete them, or I would just have footage that I didn't edit. Um, or like Lola's having a bad dream and she's like moving. Or I was just really inconsistent with my videos. Like it would take me months to do them or whatever. Um, but along the way, I learned a lot of different things, and now I feel like is it's so cool to think because I think now like at the end of this year, I'm gonna look back and be like, oh man, like I was still a little inconsistent here, but like look at where I'm at now. Look at the things that I'm doing now. Like that's really really cool. Whatever. So like I'm just kind of envisioning all that in my mind, like because I'm looking back now at what I've done. And I'm like, oh man, I've just slowly, progressively got better. And so that's really cool to think about. And I lost my whole train of thought here, but uh, yeah, I'm just very excited to keep doing the things that I'm doing and learning all these different things along the way. And this year has been like a huge eye opener for me. Um, well, the past 2 months, really, I guess more specifically, but really just even like last year. Last year was like a crazy, crazy year. Um, but yeah, I learned a lot of different things, and I feel like I'm in a really great position, and I'm so excited and like motivated and inspired and driven to do the things that I want to do. And I guess going back to that, what I had talked about, the thing that I wrote, I said all those things, and now I'm doing all those things, and like it's so crazy because I wrote that and I wasn't doing any of that at the time. And so to look back, and I'm like, holy shit, if I knew, like, speaking like third person, like, if he knew what I'd be doing, and like, man, like, that's so cool to me. Like, it's just crazy. And then also in what I had written, I was saying things like, um, one of my mentors had told me one time, we were playing like a game. We were just playing Dark Souls, and my character, his build was like all over the place. He was like really strong, and then he was really good with spells, and then also with like the bow, and like so he was overall like good, but he wasn't great in any one thing. And my mentor said something kind of jokingly. He's like an indecisive man is unstable in all his ways. And that like struck me so deeply. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, that was me. I felt so unstable and indecisive, and I didn't know what I wanted to do or didn't make a decision and stick with it. Like, just didn't do those things. And we were talking to my therapist about this and why that struck me so deeply, even though we were just playing a game. Like, it was just it's crazy. But now I look at myself and like, although there are still things that I may be indecisive about or unstable in certain areas or whatever, I feel like it's a hell of a lot less than it used to be. And I feel like, if anything, I'm more stable in a lot of ways than I ever have been. And so that's progress. And it kind of goes back to the thing that I was saying, like, it's just one day at a time. Like, I may not have the answers now or tomorrow or next month from now or a month from now, but it's just about today. Like, if I take this day for what it is and I do what I can with it, eventually it'll lead me to where I want to go. And that was like a huge thing that I didn't understand. And I've been trying to like understand that for the past year. And I think now I kind of do. And although I forget that sometimes, like, that is taught me so much. So yeah, man, I don't know. I could probably keep going with this podcast, but I think I feel pretty good about everything that I've kind of discussed. And damn, I feel like I'm gonna cry for some fucking reason. This is so weird. Uh I just feel very grateful, man. Like, this has been like a dream come true. Although not many people watch these, or who are subscribed, or even on my main channel. Like, I don't get crazy views or anything. Like, I always envisioned myself as a kid, like very, very young. I didn't ever watch TV. I just stayed on YouTube, and I was so involved with the culture of YouTube and so many different. There's so much to YouTube. There's so much, and I feel like I've dabbled in everything that YouTube has to offer, and so I understand it, and it's so diverse, and it's so like it's so fucking cool, bro. I love YouTube, and I always wanted to make videos, and so now I'm doing that. And like, I always hear things like, you get to live out your dreams, like that kind of, like those kind of sayings, like, when you get here, when you make it, when you do this. I don't think there is a point when you feel like that. Maybe like if you had the money or you have like a crowd or whatever, like maybe like then, but how I feel is like that is me now. Like, I'm living out my dreams right now, because there is no point that I reach where I'm like, oh yeah, I've done it. Like, I'm doing it now. Even like I said, even if there's not a huge audience or I'm making money or whatever, I'm here and I'm doing it, and I feel so like I feel so fulfilled when I'm doing these things. And that's a feeling that I've never been able to experience. Like, what kind of, like, what purposes? Like, I didn't know what any of that meant, and I searched so long and hard to find that, and then I realized you just have to do it. Even though some of these things suck, like, you just have to do it. And this is the stuff that I talked about. I didn't know. I felt so indecisive with this. I was like, what if I'm actually not creative? What if I actually don't want to make videos? Well, why would I feel like that as a kid? Maybe I was lying to myself. Like, I didn't have any belief or trust in myself. And I was just like, it's just one day at a time. Maybe that'll come, maybe it won't. But I'll figure that out along the way. And I'll figure it out if I like this or if I don't. And so far, I like all this stuff that I'm doing. Even if there's little things that I don't, I'm still doing it. And and man, it's been one hell of a ride, bro. But I'm so fucking excited to keep going. And I feel so like hungry to just keep going. Like, I don't know. I can just envision so much, like, having people working with me, or like I'm being able to take care of my family or my friends, or if I have like people who work for me, or whatever it is, like all these other dreams that I have and aspirations. Like, I cannot wait to do them. Like, I can't. I just like, and I'm doing it right now. So it's so fucking. It's just a weird feeling, man. Like, and oh man, I just hope everybody gets to experience this because it's so fucking cool. But yeah, I guess I'm I guess I'm gonna get off this now. Like, now I'm kind of just going on, but um, I do appreciate you if you've listened this far. If you have, let me know what your passion is, or what you think it is, or what you want to do. Actually, matter of fact, tell me what you want to accomplish this year, or where you see yourself in the next 5 years. I'd love to see what you guys have to say. Um, and as always, I do appreciate you being here, and I do appreciate you listening. And this is also available, like I said, on all audio platforms. So if you want to listen to this anywhere you listen to podcasts, it is there. Or if you are listening on a audio platform, we do have this on YouTube. So you can watch the video form and you can kind of watch me just move about, um, and kind of, I guess, get a different perspective instead of just listening. Um, I also have my main channel. If you want to check out more of my stuff, it'll be on the screen here. Is also always in the description, as well as if you want to find if you want to find anything that I'm really talking about here, you can just look in the description and it'll be there for you. Um, yeah, that's pretty much all I have. And as always, again, for like the 10th time, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you listening. Like and subscribe and share this with your friends. That helps me a lot, and that's your way to support me for free. So that's really cool. Um, but yeah, I guess I'll see you guys tomorrow because we have another podcast with my homie. So that'll be cool. But yeah, that'll be out like in a week or so, whatever. But yeah, I'm gonna end this now. I'll see you guys later, man. Later. Peace. Bye. See you.